Hello everybody, I am Jedi Penguin and welcome back to another LEGO Creator Expert or 18 Plus set review. Today we're going to be looking at set number 10300, the Back to the Future Time Machine or the DeLorean. This set includes 1,872 pieces and retails for $169.99 when it released April 1st of 2022. Now this set is no April Fool's Day joke, though of course there are a few things that I do have to complain about and will critique as we move throughout the video. But starting off with the box art design, you get that black background that you're going to see a lot for these 18 plus style sets. You also have some lightning, adding some extra light behind the back of this build, which I think looks great. You get your Back to the Future logo and also some sand blue greebling towards the bottom, which is quite interesting. As we move to the back, you get a better look at what's going on with this set when it comes to the minifigure display stand, which is really unexpected. We saw no minifigures included with the giant Ghostbusters set, so I thought we weren't going to see any in this set, though that was a huge surprise. Really happy that we got some minifigures in here and that they include some exclusive prints. Another really cool thing about this set is the fact that you can transform it into the 3 different versions seen throughout the 3 movies. Keeping that feature is very much appreciated. One thing that I don't like is the amount of sticker decals, which we'll take a look at in a minute when we unbox this. You get the size of the set from the side, and another thing that's just really annoying for an 18 plus set is seeing push tabs, which of course I can get a knife and just cut down there, but it's a lot more fun for me to open it like this. Looking at the box contents, we get a lot of bags numbered 1 through 11. Bags numbers 4 and 11 both feature 2 bags. You also get a loose bag of some of the larger parts. I also really like that they individually bagged the windshield piece. That's something that we haven't seen LEGO do ever, which it just really makes me happy that it wasn't at the bottom of the box getting all scratched up. And then of course you get a bag for your stickers and instruction manual. For this set, we get 2 sticker sheets, one with the white backing and one with the clear backing. This is supposed to be the cover for the flux capacitor, which I think is really interesting. Wish this was a print. It's really disappointing that it's a sticker, though I appreciate their effort making this a separate sticker sheet from this, mainly because I would have been really annoyed if they also printed the flux capacitor on this sticker. Now for this sticker sheet, you can see we have our display plate, as well as some of the stickers for inside the DeLorean and some of our extra accessories and license plates. Look at that picture, isn't that beautiful with the black background and the lightning and also the flames? I think they did a really nice job with the front and the back covers right there. You get your out of time license plate, which I think is really interesting that they actually included the Lego piece there compared to actually giving us the car from real life. From the inside, you get your piece count for 2 pages there, leading on to an additional 2 pages, your win information, a few pages in different languages discussing that this set includes a battery in one of the light bricks included, and then the final overall model. I also have to appreciate LEGO including these little blurbs in the front of these direct-to-consumer sets, just a little bit of information about Back to the Future there with some pictures in various different languages as we continue through the instructions. I really love seeing this kind of stuff, and it also gives me hope that eventually we'll see some other Back to the Future sets like the clock tower or the time traveling train. Would be really nice to get in LEGO form. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say for the instructions. If you're interested in seeing any of this, you guys can pause, though I recommend getting the set yourself so you can read this on your own time. As I said, within this set, we surprisingly got 2 brand new and exclusive minifigures, starting off with Marty McFly. This figure has a few flaws, in my opinion, one being that there should be printing right there where that blue is to complete his shoes, which go all the way up to the top right there, kind of like a dual molding situation, which these are just way too big in my opinion. Of course, they are a defining feature of this particular outfit, which is why they're probably placed so prominently, but why couldn't LEGO have dual molded these legs just so then we wouldn't have that weird blue stripe there, which just doesn't make much sense. Otherwise, I think this figure is fine in terms of the torso print. I think turned out really nice. You get those dark gray arms, and we can see some back printing there. And then we fall into the other problem of the reused facial expression, the young Han Solo or Cedric Diggory facial expression, which I don't know why they couldn't just bring back the one that we saw back in 2013. Of course, I will end up getting another one of those facial expressions just so then I can switch it out, because this just doesn't look like Marty McFly to me, or Michael J. Fox for that matter. I can spin that right around to see a angry look from the back. Again, it just doesn't really feel right to me, though you do get the short haircut style in the regular brown, which I think works fine for the hair. It's just the facial expression and then the fact that we're not getting dual molded legs for this figure that really bothers me at this price point. Now, as for our other minifigure included, Dr. Emmett Brown, he turned out just absolutely fantastic. We get some new leg, torso, and facial expression prints for his character. We have the prints leading up all the way from the bottom of the feet up to the main torso there. This is again representing the outfit that we see in the second film. You can take a look at the back printing, which isn't anything too special, just a few lines just to even out the outfit there. And then, as I said, a double-sided facial expression, which is a really great surprise to see that we didn't get a reused facial expression for this guy. We have a worried look from the front, and one that goes even more so with this outfit, where you can spin that right around to see one with these wonderful shades, a nice shine to that, and we get the same hairpiece that we saw introduced for his character in LEGO Dimensions. I don't normally go out of my way to get direct-to-consumer sets when they release day one. This is just one of those odd situations where I just had to get this. I own every other Back to the Future set. You guys will be seeing a video sometime in the future where I just look at every LEGO Back to the Future set, but this set really surprised me. There are a lot of unique building techniques, especially a lot of advanced ones, which is really great to see in an 18+ style set like this. It is a creator kind of 3-in-1 type set. Well, not until you get to the very end of the instructions. It shows that you can either transform it into the one that you see from the first film, and you get all these other extra parts which also need a little bit of help from the parts that you use from the other build to create the version seen in the second and third movies. Now, to start us off, I thought we'd take a look at our display stand with our minifigures, and then we'll get right into looking at each version of the car as we go through the movies. We get a small spot to place both of your minifigures, which again were a huge surprise. LEGO isn't shy to comment on the fact that they don't like putting exclusive minifigures in giant sets, but they do it anyways. It's something that it's just annoying for those who can't afford a set like this. No doubt if this sells well, we'll end up seeing more Back to the Future stuff in the 18+ style line. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a quote set pop up at some point with a minifigure scale version of the DeLorean. But anyways, looking at the display plaque, you get your Back to the Future logo, and this is again all stickered, which is really annoying that they do this. I wish that they would print these because it makes a lot more sense for an 18+ style display set, even though they're only going to use this print once. You get a little bit of information about the time machine down there. I mean, nothing too in-depth, but enough just to get the point across. You can see the building on the side on this overall. To start us off, from the first movie Back to the Future, we have the DeLorean time machine. Now, what makes this particular version special is the fact that we have this giant Technic connection that reaches up here, which I'll remove just so we can take a better look at it, where you can see at the very end we get this hook piece that was introduced in the 4+ Toy Story sets, though this is the first time that we're getting it in black, which I think works well for like the hook that's at the top of the DeLorean. So when the DeLorean goes at a certain speed and catches on to the wire as the lightning travels down from the clock tower, we're sent back to the future. We also happen to have a few more extra details from the very back here, where we have a few of these tube pieces, which are also connected with one of those studs with the hole in the center and the tap piece, which is quite clever technique. We also get this 2x2 circular tile print for this like fan thing, where we also have a stamp piece on top of that. I really like all the different wires stretching from all around the DeLorean. The attention to detail is just phenomenal. Another thing from the very back that we get here is the California Out of Time license plate. This is the original license plate, but turning this to its side and looking at the last defining feature of the first DeLorean, we have these prints on the wheels. You can see right there, these are not exclusive. They also came on the Vespa set, which is really interesting to see that they reused them here, and I think it works very well to show the wheels of the DeLorean. We also get 2 more recolors here for both the tires and also for those wheels in that silvery color, which are also quite nice to get. Before we continue to looking at the DeLoreans from the second and third movie, I thought we'd take a look around the rest of the DeLorean just to take a look at some of the individual building techniques. Starting from the very front, we get another new print. Well, actually our only new print really in this set other than our minifigures. We have this DMC 1x2 cheese slope, which is seen from the front of the car. Really like seeing that. Also the shine, all of these slope pieces and tiles with this shine on it. I really love getting those. A little bit of that translucent blue adds a lot to the front of this build. You can see like the wiring and how that is accomplished and how it sneaks down underneath over here. And we also get these candle pieces in that silvery color. I think those are really cool to get in this set. And as we continue and sneak our way through to the back, you can see where that plugs in up there. Same sort of situation from the other side where we can spin ourselves around. You can take a better look at that. Lot of building on this side, especially can see it from the side of the doors here, which you can actually even lift up if you want, which work very well. Very nice and smooth opening of the doors. You can see that we get a clip piece connection for one of the side mirrors. We also get these ball joint connections just for the angling from the side over here right next to the main windshield. We don't get any windshields from the side of the car, which is another small thing to complain about, though of course it makes it a lot easier to open and close these side doors, which you can also see the Technic connections from the very top that allow these to open and close so easily. And just looking at some of the building techniques and how sleek they made the bottom here in comparison to the door, LEGO did a really nice job putting this all together. As we wrap to the very back here, we have some more of these silvery pieces, which are really nice to get. Even some of these curved tile pieces, in addition to these 1x1s, which are also new here. As we move down, we have some other clever building techniques using this pole connection and one of those upside down Unikitty head connection pieces in black. I think that's really interesting how they were able to get that angling from the side. As we continue to the bottom of the build, you can see some more interesting building techniques for the back lights here, where you can see some of these cheese slopes being used with the building on this side. I think it's really interesting, and also just seeing some of these other upside down pieces, which a lot of what you see for these side sections is being built up by these hinge pieces, which you can see a little bit from this side. I'll point one of them out. There's one of those over here. I get another one that's somewhere down here, and then another one somewhere over here. Again, a lot of the different things going on from the back of this. It's really interesting just to take a look at everything that's going on, all these different wires and the clip piece connections and the stud connections, just so much going on from the very back of the build. Finishing up with the back here, I also really like how they accomplished these back engines here. You have some rather interesting building techniques, especially when it comes to the use of some of these 1x3 jumper plates with the 2 studs. And wrapping things up, you can see a lot of the details from the side, and we can lift up the doors and take a better look inside the car. Taking a closer look inside the car, it is a little hard to get some good angles in here just because of the positioning of things, and that you can't lift up the windshield because that's also connected using some ball joint connections there just to make sure we have a sturdy connection. The doors are really the only thing that you can lift up in order to take a good look at. or actually get a look at all at inside this car. Another thing that I might as well point out is that when you have the doors up in this position, they will and do tend to fall in a slow motion, which I actually really like that feature. It's actually really neat that they fall in that manner of a fashion, but it does make looking inside here a bit of a hassle. You can also see those hinge connections that I pointed out before just from the other side of the car here. We have this 1x2 tile print, one of the only other prints included in this set. You'll also see it from the other side. This is surprisingly my first time getting that print in my collection, though it is pretty common in quite a few like random city sets and whatnot. As we move over here, you can see a lot of the stickers being used to get some of the dashboard details done. You can also see that we have a stick to drive with, which I think is really funny that they include that. You also get your flux capacitor. Let's see if we can get a better look from the front of the car. Through the windshield, which is a brand new mold for this particular set. It is, again, just really hard to get a good look. I'll lift up this door, where you can see similar situation as we saw from the other side with some of the printed pieces. Also get your steering wheel, which is using a pretty interesting piece there, and also one of those spinny plates so you can spin that around however you want. Even though I didn't want to, I did end up removing the windshield piece so we can take a better look. I might as well remove this one so you can take a better look at the one above the steering wheel, which is a really annoying sticker to place on that small surface there. You can see a lot of the dashboard icons. You also get these 3 stickered 1x3 tile pieces, each with the date October 26th, 1985. Personally, I was hoping that they would all have different dates just to make it interesting, though of course this is definitely a way to go if you want to just keep everything uniform. Again, these would have been really nice as prints, but LEGO decided to include stickers, which they could have included multiple stickers so you could change up the dates, but I guess they didn't want to do that either. You have another interesting print down there on that 1x1 tile, which I mean isn't anything too special, but nice to get. Still the same, and just again a closer look at that if you're interested, and a better look inside here, which I'll press that button down so you can take a better look at the flux capacitor. And to finish off our look, we can open up the hood of the car, which you can see the Technic features used to make that go up and down. This is also one of the last pieces that you build within the set, because this part can also flip, where you can see that we have these studs to accommodate something that you see in the third movie, which we'll talk more about momentarily. But you also get 2 small accessories stored in here. The first of which being this box of plutonium. Handle with care. You get a few stickers. You get 1 on this tiled wall element piece, and then 2 on these tiles, this 1x4 and this 2x4, where you also get that radiation logo. You can lift this up using the hinge connection, and you can see our plutonium is represented by these circular 1x1 tiles in translucent orange, which I guess is fine. Overall, interesting accessory. Wish there were prints, but stickers I guess is fine too. And the other accessory being this hoverboard, which Marty steals from that little girl in the second film. We have another sticker, unfortunately, on this 2x6 pink tile piece. We also get those rounded melon slice pieces from the top there. I also would have appreciated if these horseshoe pieces were in a different color, maybe like trans clear, or maybe even a translucent blue would have been interesting to see here, just because the gray really takes away from the rest of the build here. Of course, this is not to scale with your minifigure, but we do in fact have a hoverboard that is to scale, which I'll be sharing in another video. Now the question is, how do you transform this into the car scene in the second film? So in order to do that, we gotta remove a few things. First, we can easily remove this top part. We can turn us to the back, where we can remove a few more different accessories, including this right here. Take a closer look at that. I also really like getting that piece in black in the middle. We can remove these. We can remove these right here. And we can remove that down there. So that should be, I think, everything that we need to remove from the back here, so we can put something else there. The front of the build is the same for this front piece that you can lift up and lift down. That should stay the same. It only changes for the third build, and the wheels should also stay the same, though another thing that we might as well do right here is show the bottom. So from the bottom of the build, you can see a lot of the guts here, a lot of the Technic features, and also like the gear systems being used from the very bottom of the build. Now another thing that we also get from the bottom right here is this piece, which you can actually flip this in order to make your wheels go to the bottom to activate the hover mode of the DeLorean. I think that's really cool that they actually included that. Additionally, we also get some of these 1x2 translucent bricks that you can place on the bottom. And this will also allow the build to look as if it's levitating just a little bit slightly off the bottom. I would probably add a few more transclear pieces just to make it look a little bit more noticeable. Now to finish the transformation here, can bring us all the way back to the back of the DeLorean, where we can add this, which is also quite nicely tiled off and sloped off over here, like getting those slope pieces in that light gray color. Can plop this in like such, and on top of that we can place in the Mr. Fusion. And bringing us a little closer here, you can take a look at the build for the Mr. Fusion, where we get a sticker from each side of this Technic piece. Can also see that this can be lifted up using some clip piece connections, where you get one of those battle droid arm pieces in black connected to a regular clip, and it is also sealed up using one of these medium dish pieces on top of probably one of the more interesting pieces included in here. We get this cauldron from Fabuland, which is also really interesting to see. We also get a skeleton leg in red there. We get both a banana and this soda here that features a pretty common 1x1 tile print as the trash in order to make the DeLorean work in this sense. Can bring that right back up. And now the last thing that you have to do to transform this into the one from the second movie is switch out the license plate. Now for those of you like me who first built the original version of the DeLorean and now want to transform it into the one seen in the second and third movie, where you have to switch out the license plate to see the 2015 California license plate, here's the easiest way to do it. Now, you want to make sure that all of the stuff that you would place up here to transform the car into the second and third movie versions is completely removed. You can also take these out very nice and easily. Just place them off to the side. And then you can lift up right here, this little part. And there you go. That gives you easy access to where the license plate is held. Now you can easily just pull this piece out, which gives you a closer look at that stickered license plate, which uses one of those window pane pieces for the license plate. You can see that this is also connected using some ball joint connections, which makes it hard to actually pull this out with everything intact, which is why you have to remove all this stuff. So now we can remove this and pop out the license plate and plop in the 2015 one. And there you go. It's pretty easy. And then you can plop everything right back in, making sure you have all of your studs pressed down. And these should be able to go in very nice and easily. They are a little loose, but I'm okay with that just because it makes it easier to remove the license plate. Now to transform the DeLorean into the one seen in the third movie, we can bring this back up. In order to transform our wheels back to the regular position, we'll switch them out with the other wheels in just a minute. We keep what we see from the back of the DeLorean, but we can fix the front by removing these two side pieces here. Just some easy building on the side there. You can also lift this part off, and we can remove these two pieces and flip them right around so the studs are facing up and we still have the flatness of the wall element. And we can also plop these right back on the way they were with the building on the side. And there you go, you have these studs from the very top of the DeLorean. You can build this, which goes on top of those studs like such, making sure they are all covered up so you don't see any of them, making sure that these long pieces also cover up the studs. You can see a lot of the greebling going on here. We use a few more pieces from some of the previous builds of the DeLorean. We also use our extra hook accessory here, and also another interesting piece seeing returned from the world of Harry Potter, that butterbeer mug, to complete the look of the front of the third DeLorean. Now the last thing that we have to do is remove the wheels that we just had for the first two versions of the DeLorean, and remove the tires from these. You can keep the Technic connection from the back and all the other building techniques. We just want to keep the tires because we already have the wheels built for this third version of the DeLorean. And there you have it. This is the third version of the DeLorean in all of its glory, keeping a little bit from the second version and adding a little bit from the front and changing up the wheels. We'll also keep that same California 2015 license plate just because we left that way from the second movie. So overall, for $170, is this set worth it? If you're a fan of Back to the Future and you don't have any of the sets, this is definitely something you're going to want to pick up, though I would expect, considering how well this is selling with the minifigures included, that we could possibly see more 18+ style diorama kind of Back to the Future stuff in the future, though don't take my word on it. It really depends on how well this set sells. Now when it comes to the build of the DeLorean, I really love that you can transform it into all three versions seen throughout the trilogy. The one you see in front of you based off the second film. We also get your minifigures based off the second film for the very first time, only seeing them before in their outfits from the first movie. There are a few problems with the minifigures, and yeah, I really don't like that there are a lot of stickers in this set. That is one of the things that really turned me off. Otherwise, I think that this is a really sleek model, lots of unique building techniques, and overall a really nice display set that I'm excited to put next to all my other Back to the Future sets. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say for this video. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, what your thoughts are on this set. Also remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so every time I upload a new video. So yeah, that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye!